Well, Vic he's unique in his family duties, but how do you handle a week when there's a holiday and also a huge game that you guys have to prep for?
Well, it's being a short week. It's a condensed schedule, and then we'll prepare like we would any other short week in terms of combining some of our practices, and then we'll go down on Thursday, and we're going to have a Thanksgiving meal down there together, which will be kind of neat, and then play the game Friday night.
Can that be a bonding experience to get the guys together and spend some time on a holiday like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we spend a lot of time together as it is, and the players obviously do too. And the schedule is what it is now in college football. And so, we're going to travel on Thanksgiving. But I know guys will miss their families. But if they can't be with their families, I'm sure there's nowhere else they'd rather be than with their teammates.
I hear you guys talk about opportunities a lot. How much fun is this opportunity, kind of an opportunity to go to the postseason?
Absolutely. You'd say it's like a playoff game, and getting to the postseason's a goal of ours, and it'd be huge for our seniors, our program, for a lot of reasons. And so it's a great opportunity for us, and what's more important is that we just really do a great job, this week preparing mind and body so we can go play our best football, because that's what it'll take.
What's the biggest difference in Josh Rosen now from when you faced him?
Like 2 years ago, just probably his experience. He was a true freshman at that time, and you watch him. Their offense has changed a bit, but that guy, he throws the football as well as any college quarterback I've ever competed against or coached against.
We get Chris Palmer here next. What have you seen? He started 2 games in the last 3 weeks. How has he come along?
Just gotten better, and he's worked really hard in practice, and he's earned the opportunities to play more. And he's obviously a big, powerful guy, and I think he's playing his best football. And so I think he's got a high ceiling, and he's getting closer to realizing his potential. And working with Coach Az has been really beneficial for him. And I still think he's just scratching the surface, and he's got a lot of room to grow yet.
How much has his size kind of determined his playing time? Because you put him in against a couple bigger teams in Colorado and Stanford.
Yeah, well, as you can see, he carries a lot of weight, and there's only so many guys that are that big that can move, and so he's a guy that can, set the point, and he's tough to block one-on-one, and when he goes, he just got to be more consistent, but he can be tough to block for those centers and guards. So it's a really important position for us, and we need for him to keep getting better and better.
I'm working on a piece on Mike Safell, obviously a SoCal guy going back home to SoCal. And I remember him and Garbers both telling me they were in the same room when you guys called them and said, "Hey, we're your new coaches." What do you remember about that exchange?
I remember talking to him early on in the process, and then having a chance to go down and visit with him and his family. And he's done a really, really good job. He's got a huge upside. I know the thing about him that strikes me the most is just how much he loves all of this. He loves playing, practice, meetings, everything that we're asking him to do. He's trying to do it right, and he's still a young guy who's learning with every rep. And I just think he's got a bright future if he continues to work at it.
You mentioned Rosen's arm talent. What do you guys need to do, or what have defenses done to be successful against him?
Well, I don't know if there's not one thing. Obviously, mixing and matching your coverages so you don't give them the same picture all the time. How many guys you're bringing in the rush, where you're bringing it from, just to create some a little indecision, because if he knows where he's going and you're not putting any pressure on him, he can throw it as well as anybody. And he's got talented guys around him. At the skill position, O-line, running backs, they're a very talented offense, and so it'll be a great challenge for us. We're going to have to be on point at every level. And he's just he's a unique guy in terms of the way he can throw the football.
Outside of the program, there weren't a lot of people who thought you guys would be in this situation. Did you realistically think you guys had a shot at going to the postseason and playing the game like you'll have this weekend?
Well, I thought if we continue to get better throughout spring, fall camp, and during the season, that we would have chances to win games, and we have. And we haven't finished the games as well as we could have, and that's where we got to learn and grow. And appreciate the guys' work ethic and their competitiveness, but there's just, you know, the next step is finishing those games, and that's the toughest margin to close. And so we got to learn from each of those experiences. But I am proud of how the guys are competing, and we just got to, you know, there's a handful of plays here or there and that's how it goes. And so I guess looking back on it, we expected to come out and compete, you know, week in and week out, and that's the only thing we can ask them to do, and get us in this position where we can get to the postseason.
Being so close, like you said, only a few plays, a few feet away at times, is that what makes it as frustrating as it was maybe on Saturday nights? Like, oh, we're that close from being having 8 wins instead of 4.
Yeah, but you know, they don't count how close it is in the win and loss column.
What I'm saying is that what makes it that frustrating, is how close.
Yeah, I mean, no matter if we don't win, you know, we're gonna find the reasons why and try and solve those issues. And you know, we're not going in the games trying to keep it close. We're going in the games to try and win the games. And we've had our opportunities, and it's frustrating and it's disappointing when you don't take advantage of those opportunities, and then you got to identify why you weren't able to and learn from that. And so I think we've done that. We just got to continue along that path, but nobody's, you know, sitting here happy that we've, you know, kept it close in some of those games. We got to go find a way to win them.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks.